All right, what's good, y'all? What's good? My bad. Had to push this back a little bit to just reset my computer, but yeah, we locked in, y'all. We locked in, y'all. Let me just cross check, make sure my sound is good. All right. Hold on. Let me see here. No, this is not the right microphone. Hold up. Yeah. All right. I think this should be a little bit better. But good to see everyone. Okay, good. Yeah, the microphone's better. All right, good to see everybody. Hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all doing well. We back. Yo, I am. Yeah, we gotta. Well, today actually will be pretty interesting. I want to go over the Diamond League, and also there's the meet in Tokyo that's going down this weekend. Where like Noah Lyles, he's running the 100, and Jordan Anthony's running the 200. But yeah, so I want to do just a quick preview of that, and some of the other things there, and then of course the Diamond Leagues, do some previews of just like some of the fields, because the year is starting, or at least like the Diamond League season is starting. We saw like the early season meets. We saw, of course, World Relays. Doha Diamond League got delayed. I'm still questionable on if like that will happen. I know it was postponed till I think June or something like that. Questionable, just based on like how the world is moving right now. But we'll see. But we have Shanghai this weekend. Also, Tokyo's this weekend, and then you have next week is the Xiamen Diamond League, and then you have the Rabat Diamond League. So you have a couple Diamond Leagues, back to back to back, and then also Rome. I'll talk about Rome very quickly here. Yeah, outdoor season doesn't really start until the first Diamond League meet. Listen, this is where it actually matters. And even this year, it's like again, we have Ultimate Championships, which I think should be taken relatively seriously, if it's like that should be a thing that wants to be equivalent to Worlds, or Olympics or whatever. But like with no major championship, it's like, yeah, it's got to be taken seriously. But yeah, good to see ya. Good to see ya. Yes, this is live. We live. And yeah, then it really starts in June when guys start peaking. Yeah, and June is we already got some stuff on the calendar for June between the Diamond Leagues. You also have Oblique Seville. He'll be running his first 100. Well, I don't know if it'll be his first, but he's announced to run in Texas in the 100 on the first weekend of June. We'll see the Rome Diamond League that weekend as well, with Jordan Anthony and Noah, which we'll briefly talk about. What's the other thing in June? Gout Gout and Noah Lyles are running the 150 in Ostrava on like June 15th or something. So June is like where things actually pick up. Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Shrika, as well. Also, and then of course, with all those previews, I do want to talk about the Gout Gout interview a little bit as well. I have some. So we'll break it down. Like I'm not going to play obviously the full interview, but like there's some clips I do want to play and like give some commentary on. There's two videos though, right? There's a 13-minute long Gout Gout interview with 60 Minutes. And then 60 Minutes did another one where it was like comparison to Bolt. I'm going to be honest, that one got me kind of, I don't want to say mad, but I was like frustrated. I was like, yo, I hate the Bolt comparisons, and especially how they did it too. But we'll talk about that as well. But yeah, we'll dive into all that. So yeah, appreciate y'all. And yes, this is a good. No, I know this came up a little bit earlier, but seems Gout Gout's coach put in some work to learn how to be a track coach. I'm sure if when the split comes, it'll be hard. Yeah. That is something that's interesting as well. I'll talk about that too, just in the context of his contract that they signed. But it's a good point where Gout Gout's coach, she really wasn't a track person, right? I think they said her son ran track or something along those lines, but she kind of learned it on her own, and she is very measured. We'll talk about it, but I really like his coach even more. All right, so let's see. Okay, so we'll start off with the preview, and then I'll move over to the Gout Gout stuff. Do you think what happened in the group with Elaine and Shelly will happen to Sha'Carri and Melissa Jefferson Wooden? Nah, I doubt it. I think no. I mean, who knows? Granted, right? Like, but I highly doubt it. Yeah. Okay. This is my exact thought. They showed Gout being 0.5 seconds behind Bolt over the first 100 meters and acted like that's something you could fix easily and so quickly. We gonna talk about this because I was I was like, yo, are you? And I understand it's like 60 minutes. It's like for the general public, but it's like, oh my gosh, yo, people act like Bolt wasn't Bolt. Like 19.19 isn't like, come on, man. Yes, this is exactly what I thought. Gout and his coach dynamic reminds me of Wade Van Niekerk and his former coach. Absolutely. Like, that's exactly what I thought about. So, be interesting. Okay, so we'll talk about the Diamond League. But before then, I do want to note that there's some good stuff coming up. I have a couple good things coming up. Some good interviews coming up. I have some good interviews coming up. And yeah, TBD. I was trying to set up some interviews last week as well. You know, some things didn't work out, but some things got pushed to this week. But like, or at least getting done this week. But like, I have some good stuff coming up. I've hopefully TBD, but I ain't gonna make any promises. It's like scheduled, but like, I have something coming up with a someone who's run like a record. I'll put it like that. A relatively like relatively prominent person in the sense of like based on what's going on right now in the sprint world. He's a pretty interesting. It's interesting, but yes, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it live again because I need it to like listen. All these like interviews, I get them scheduled or I try and get them scheduled. I reach out, whatever. Some people have been reaching out to me. Shout out to everybody. But until they happen, I'm not going to be like, oh yes, nah, I did this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So TBD. Yes. Wait until it's done. Yes, wait until it's done, but it'll be something interesting. And then a whole bunch of others as well. So yeah, TBD, and we're going to keep rolling with the year. And I may be starting something else soon as well. So stay tuned. I know I also apologize before I jump in. I apologize because I've been busy on my end, like with other stuff. So a lot of the videos that I've been promising to like actually get out and edit, I haven't been able to do. I apologize. I'm going to try and lock down at some point to just get stuff done because I feel bad. Oh yes, sorry. So that arena video, can I start a petition? Yes, I sincerely apologize. Like it really is. It's a balance because there's things that I want to do, but then I also understand the context of like, I guess what people want to see immediately. So that's why I'll do like these immediate like reactions of, you know, what happened with a race over the weekend or whatever. And then also that's why like with the interviews, I've been doing those because those are in general trying to be like following up on a recent performance or something along those lines. So, you know, but yes, obviously the edited ones take a little bit more time. I don't know. It takes a little more brain power to a degree because I think about them of like, okay, what would I want to see? So my bad. Yeah, about to be more busy with the summer season. So, but I appreciate it. Okay, so last one, and then we'll dive into this Diamond League preview real quick. Do you see Femke and Keeley shake hands? Does that mean an actual race against each other at Euros? I mean, maybe. Oh, my bad. If the internet is going out, that might be on my end. I apologize. I'm gonna cross check. But yeah, I'll keep tabs. If it goes in and out, I will. I'll probably like. I'm still here. It's probably my connection if it does happen. But just for context on this, do you see Femke and Keeley shake hands? Does that mean an actual race against each other at Euros? Maybe. I suspect that Femke Bol will probably be targeting Euros. But if she's not, because she did pick up a little bit, she picked up a little bit of an injury, obviously indoors. But if she, and apologize for the background noise, if she does, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of like hesitating because it's like Keeley is on a different level, right? Like I know Femke versus Keeley is an interesting kind of like storyline because Femke is a very high profile athlete. Keeley is a very high profile athlete, but I just don't think Femke is on Keeley's level. Like it's a different level. And she just started the 800. Yes, she ran very fast indoors in that first 800 she did, but like Keeley is on a whole different level. So I would love to see them run at Euros, but I also, and then I forget her name, but from Switzerland, who also, is it Audrey Merrow, right? But it's also a whole different thing of like, there's still time. Femke still has time to like develop in the 800, so we'll see. But yeah, maybe. Okay, so Femke is competing at the FBK games to open up her 800 meter season. Okay, so good. So mid-June she'll open up. So that makes sense. So that's good. All right, cool. So she's at least scheduled. Hopefully she's healthy. Hopefully she's good. And yeah, she's ready to get going. You're underestimating Femke. Yes, it's soon, but don't forget how good she is over 400 and 500. Yes, yes, but Keeley, like what Keeley did indoors, breaking the world indoor record and then running that insane time as well at the world indoor champs to win gold, that put in perspective like how insane she is capable of going outdoors. Like she is truly in the conversation for that world record outdoors in the 800. Like, and that is by far one of the toughest records in the book on the books. Yes, Femke. I think just why I'm hesitating on Femke and why I'm hesitating on any athlete. You're talking about long-term progression for an athlete to be able to make those massive strides. That's what I look at, and that applies again for any athlete. But when we're talking about Femke, she's just jumping into the 800. She hasn't even had like a tactical 800 race, right? To understand, when these athletes are making moves or when she's, boxed in or something along those lines. Like she has never been in that situation. So seeing how she's going to respond in those different situations, that's going to be something to think about. So that's why I'm very, very hesitant. I would be pleasantly surprised if Femke really, goes out there, runs 156, 155. Like, of course I would, but I'm being very hesitant before I jump out and say, okay, nah, she's ready to do that. Apologize. They got sirens outside. Oh, okay. There's a perfect camera. Yeah, I want Femke in a competitive race where she has to make tactical moves in the 800. That is what I'm looking for, right? That's going to be very, very important. Okay. Did we not forget Keeley was pretty much in world record form going into worlds last year? Kind of disrespectful to the work Keeley is putting. Yeah, like Keeley is on a different level. And I think for me, this indoor season really put in perspective, like, yo, she was insane. You know what I'm saying? So, we don't see. Who's what like a Femke break though, and then and who has the outdoor world record. Context there. I don't know. Whose world record did Femke break and who has the outdoor 800 record? I mean, yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously we know the outdoor 800 record is like, dope to the gills, but like it is what it is. Yeah, I think yeah. I think Femke by the end of this year, if she has a consistent 800 season, will run 155. I could see that. I could see this. I could see that, right? All right, yeah, we're gonna get to this new. Can people let Femke open up her season and run decently before thinking about surpassing one of the fastest 800 runners of all time? Absolutely. That's the point. Like we gonna see. It's Femke just started the 800. Like she's run 1 800 race. So is what it is. Okay. All right. So let's just want to dive quickly into speak about the Diamond League going down. So the women's 200, this is the Diamond League in Shanghai. So this is going down this weekend on the May 16th. The women's 200, this is probably the most high profile event along with at least, for the sprint side for sure. Shout out to like Faith K. Bagon is going to be in the 5K and like a lot of different things. But this 200 is, in my opinion, going to be very, very interesting to kind of set the stage for a lot of women and what they're doing for the rest of the year. So obviously you could see that a bunch of them have not even opened up their seasons or opened up their seasons in the 200. Anavia Battle, Sharika Jackson, shout out to Tori Lewis, Sha'Carri Richardson. This is going to be Sha'Carri's first individual race of the entire year. All these other women have at least run something individually, but Sha'Carri has only run on the relays. This is crazy. And what's interesting is this will be pretty much the same lineup in the Xiamen Diamond League the week later. Now, just to set the stage, I think I would say we need to, at least I am, tapering my expectations for Sha'Carri Richardson and her opener. Because if you remember, in 2024, she ran the 200 at both the Xiamen Diamond Leagues. Xiamen and Shanghai. At the first one, she finished second place to Tori Lewis, right? And Sha'Carri ran 22.9. At the second one, she finished third place, I think behind, I forget who, but I know TT Terry was in that race and whatever. But then Sha'Carri ran like 23.1. But that didn't matter relative to what she did later on in the year. I think her next race was like the Prefontaine Classic, and she ran like 10.8. Then she ran 10.7 at USA's, and then she got the silver at the Olympics, right, in 2024. So point is, for Sha'Carri specifically, I'm tapering expectations. I would love to see her run. I would love to see her run like 22 mid, 22 low, but I don't think she's going to do that. Maybe she runs 22 high. Maybe she runs 23 low. I don't know, but we'll see. Tapering expectations, her first race. Now, on the flip side, Sharika Jackson, this is where I have some questions, I'll say, because of how she has kind of looked throughout her 2026 year. She's run the 400 on 2 occasions. She ran the 300, and then she ran 2 4x1s, the most recent being at World Relays. at World Relays, her 4x1, the leadoff leg, that looked really good. I'm gonna be honest, that looked very, very good for Sharika. But her individual races, in my opinion, haven't looked great. Her 300, in Myanmar, not that great. Her 400, her first one of the year, I mean, take it as you will. I don't know what to take out. It was just her first race. But then her second one, she ran a little bit slower in that 400. And in a post-race interview, Sharika said, I wanted to run a little bit faster. I wasn't really happy with how this race went, but I'm healthy. That gives me the indication that she's actually looking for a little bit more relative to what she's actually displayed on the track, right? Now, again, she did go to World Relay. She ran the 4x1, but I don't know. And then on top of that, obviously, we don't know, but she just pulled out of the meet in Jamaica, right? That J3A Puma meet. So maybe it was just because she was coming off of Botswana and now she's going over to China. So maybe it was just like, I don't want to have to compete and put so much stress on her body. Obviously, she's 32 years old at this point. So she needs more rest and recovery. All of that to say, I would also taper expectations here. If you remember last year, Sharika Jackson lost to a Navia battle in the 200 running 22.6 or something like that. I don't know, nothing too crazy. So I don't have high expectations for what Sharika is probably going to do here, but it would be nice to see her in 22 mid form or something along those lines, because the rest of the world, and when I'm thinking the rest of the world, I'm thinking the Julien Alfreds, the Gabby Thomases, right? Probably the Melissa Jefferson Woodens. All these women are starting to really pick things up and make it a little more complicated for Sharika. Don't let Elaine jump into that 200. You know what I'm saying? Brianna Liston is looking good. So Sharika has to probably get back into some good form. The form, of course, that got her to a medal last year. Obviously, she got bronze, but questions based on how she's performed this year. After that, I personally think that we should keep an eye out for Jenna Prandini. She is I'm actually say this. I think Jenna Prandini is probably going to win this race. I think she is, in my opinion, the favorite to win this race. Now, anyone could win. Obviously, anything can happen. But if I was actually to pick one athlete from this field, I think I might pick Jenna Prandini because of the form that she's been displaying this year. Now, on paper, she obviously has a season's best, the fastest season's best of the year. Shout out to everyone who hasn't run, but she's been running fast. She's already run sub 11 seconds. Right, 10.98 seconds, the fastest time she's run since 2019 or something like that in the 100. She's now signed with On. So there's a different level of consistency that Jenna is kind of showing that I really like. I like what she's displaying this year. So I may be crazy, but I think Jenna might be she's in my driver's seat. If I was to throw a name in the hat and pick one out, I'd pick Jenna. But then I also look at Shauna Miller-Weibo and Anavia Battle as other ones to be in this conversation. Shauna Miller-Weibo, she did very well at the Tom Jones Memorial. She did very, very well there. Anavia Battle also, she did very well at the down in Florida and all that. These women looked very, very good. And Shauna Miller-Weibo has a point to prove. She wants to show that I am a 200-meter athlete and I can really contend with these women. She's in a field that is a high-quality field. Again, times are relevant, but how is she able to compete with them? Are we going to see the Shawnee from back in 2021, from 2020, from 2019, 2017? Are we going to see that Shawnee come back into form? Again, forget the times, but just the competitiveness, right? We know what she's capable of doing when she's lined up against some of the best. So, I think she's in this conversation. Shout out to Amy Hunt, who also coming off the silver from last year. I think she is someone who will be someone who will spoil the party throughout the 2026 season, getting to Ultimate Champs. Amy Hunt, Anavia Battle, Jenna Prandini, right? They're going to make it hard for someone like Sharika Jackson, who is probably on path to make the Ultimate Championships, but might not run as frequently depending on, how she's trying to manage her year. But you're going to see Amy Hunt. You're going to see Anavia Battle. You're going to see, Mackenzie Long, Jenna Prandini. You're going to see them everywhere. So this race will be interesting. And of course, Tori Lewis, she's won a Diamond League to the 2024, but we'll see how she actually does play out. But that's the women's 200. It's a stacked field. This is stacked. I know random, you said maybe 2 people pull out. Maybe, I don't know, but we'll see. I think I actually suspect we'll see all these women here. Yeah, I suspect we'll see all these women here. So it'll be good. But again, the time, not too relevant, not too relevant. And you said 22 mid to high for the win, in my opinion. I completely agree. I agree with that. If no one is going to go into this race in decent form, loaded, watch out for Shauna Miller-Weibo. I feel Miller-Weibo wants to come out saying she's back. Exactly as I said. Yeah, I think she has a point to prove. Like, I was one of the best 200-meter sprinters in the world. And yes, I'm coming back from 2 pregnancies, from having 2 children, but I can compete with ya. Like, don't forget, Miller-Weibo's first global championships was she finished 4th place in 2013 in Moscow. Like, don't forget. Yes. Oh yeah, that's what I said. The summer season doesn't really kick in until mid to late June. May meets are builders. Yeah, 100%. Like, the time here, not too relevant. It's about the competition. Respect to Sha'Carri, but she's the most unpredictable runner currently. Nobody can put a time on her for the most part. I'm keeping an open mind with her. Yeah, I think because of her, she was injured last year, dealt with injuries, and then obviously she's had like various up and downs through her career. So it makes it impossible to predict. And even this year, yeah, she ran in Australia on the grass, but she ran the 4x1 and that was it. So this will potentially give an indication of like where she's at, but maybe even not. Right? We got to wait till like we get to the late May, early June to really know where Sha'Carri is at. So, I agree. I think Prandini, Battle, or Lewis wins feel like they're a tad bit in better competitive form. Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I think Jenna Prandini and Anavia Battle are probably in the best competitive form. Tori Lewis as well. Yeah, Tori Lewis as well. But I think there's still the limitation of like, just how fast she is. Even though I'm not worried about time, like Anavia Battle and Jenna Prandini are just more capable of running faster than Amy Hunt on any given day. So I'm sorry, than Tori Lewis on any given day, right? So that's where I'm like, it's a little mixed with Tori Lewis, but oh my gosh, Sha'Carri can run 22 low based on Australia form. Yeah, she can run like 21.5 right now, right? Like I don't know, but I will say that Australia race was very good. Okay, and then last one before I take a look at this men's 100. I'm not necessarily. Oops, my bad. I'm not necessarily putting too much stock in that leadoff leg by Sharika since she was running against 11.2 and 11.3 sprinters. So of course she was going to look good compared to them. That's fair. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I just feel like there was aspects of Sharika looking a little more labored in her 400-meter races, and even that 4x1 she ran in Jamaica early on in the season, just comparing that to what she did in Botswana, how she executed looked a little bit better to me. So that's why I say that. But then she pulled out of the races this past weekend. So I don't even know. All right. Let me talk about this 100 so we can roll through, because the main thing is going to be, of course, talk about a little bit Gout Gout and then other stuff as well. Shout out to the men's 100. Nothing too crazy. I did speak about, nothing too crazy. This is a good field. Omanyala, he replaced Kashane Thompson in this 100. Kashane Thompson, clearly he's injured, pulled out of the 200 in Jamaica, pulled out of the World Relays, and then just pulled out of this meet here. So I'm not going to see him. But shout out to Omanyala, who's actually been having a pretty good comeback year. Obviously, yes, he's been at altitude. He's been running these sub-10s and all that out in Kenya and Botswana and all that stuff. But like he's been back in a sense. So good to see him back. But shout out to Kenny B. This will be his first individual race of the year. Trayvon Bromell coming off 10.06 last weekend. So he's coming off a very good indoor season. Christian Coleman, his first individual race of the year. He ran the relay out at Tom Jones, I think. Lockie Kennedy is someone, this year might be big for Lockie Kennedy. We obviously saw what he did at the Australian Championships, running 9.96 on 2 occasions. I think Lockie Kennedy, especially leading into the Commonwealth Games, is really going to want to make a statement. He probably wants to make a statement that, like, I am not just a second tier athlete. I'm not like a semifinalist athlete, right? I want to prove that I can compete and make finals, right? Obviously, getting to medals is a whole different discussion, but Lockie wants to be in that conversation. He's also close to Australian record is 993, right? So he wants to get that as well. So, he's going to be someone to look out for. I wouldn't be surprised if Lockie Kennedy finds a way to win this race. Like, look at all the other guys who are like just starting off their seasons, right? Laki could win this race. Gif Leolela, we didn't get to see him in Kenya. He false started. So this will be his first race since then. Omanyala, I noted him. Akani Simbine. I am interested to see what Akani does here. And I think that what do you call it? Yeah, you said Simbine will take this one. I think Simbine also has a very good shot to take this one. We saw him win last year over Kashane Thompson. He, of course, he ran 998 in the whatever heat semifinals at the Simbine Classic. And then he, of course, pulled up with a little cramp in the final, but he looked very good on the anchor leg at the World Relays. Like, he looked very, very good. He was running down, what's his name? PJ Austin on the anchor leg, right? Obviously, PJ held him off, but like they ran to a national record for South Africa. Simbine looked very, very good. Like, bro, Simbine looked very, very good on that anchor leg. Like, he was wilding. So clearly, again, that thing that happened in the 100-meter final, like at a Simbine Classic, that was just a cramp. Like, he clearly was good. So we're going to see. And yeah, it's true. He does usually run good on the Diamond Leagues this time of year. Also, keep a look. Well, okay, this is where I have a question. Like, I was going to say keep a lookout for Letsile, but I don't know what Letsile is going to do here. I think Letsile is what I'm learning is Letsile is just being very strategic about, I don't know if it's strategic or just like unpredictable in terms of how he approaches these races on the circuit. In 2023 and 2024, he was very consistent on the circuit, relatively consistent, right? You look at that Rome Diamond League race where he runs down Christian Coleman and Fred Curley and all them, and some other races. And he was in the 200s. Him and like Kenny B were like going back and forth and like going crazy. Last year, he was like so unpredictable. Obviously, there were injuries, but like just so unpredictable. And then the key for me here that's like keeping me out of like, okay, Letsile is going to be in contention here. He could, but he just geared up specifically for World Relays. Like, that was 100% his goal. I would venture to guess that was like probably goal number 1 of 2026. Everything after that is kind of chalk for Letsile. So going into a race like this, he's probably like expended all his energy to a degree. He's probably expended a lot of like his energy, both I guess physically to a degree, but like mental energy on like, yo, we're trying to get the world record in the 4x4, trying to qualify the 4x1 to world champs. Now he's going to come here and he's like, all right, now it's time to gear back up for the year. And this might not be as serious, right? So I don't know. But again, he could also come out here and pop off a 9 something and win the race. Like, I don't know. So just questions around Letsile. I have no idea what to think about Letsile. Yeah, Letsile is very strategic and losing and sandbagging on the circuit. Like, it's so questionable. It's so questionable. But I would say personally, I think that Akani Simbine and Laki Kennedy, interestingly enough, are probably the guys I strangely have as like, okay, these might be the guys to take the wins here. Now, of course, on paper, Kenny B, Trayvon Bromell, Christian Coleman, right? Even Gif Leolela, right? Like, they are faster. Well, no, I'm sorry. Akani is faster, but like the Americans are faster on paper. But like Akani and Laki Kennedy, I feel like they're coming off some very, very good aspects here of like the summer season in Australia and South Africa, and like some very good performances at World Relays. I think they might be in the position to take it. And again, not too concerned about times. Probably someone runs 9.9, something 9.9 mid to high. I don't know. But like, we'll see what that actually does play out into. But any of these guys can actually win. Even Omanyala can win this, right? Shout out to Xi Zhenyi. He could also be in this conversation as well. But, when we're looking at the times, it's like, it's a stretch. But shout out to those guys. Okay. And then I think there's a couple other races, but just to highlight, yeah, he was strategic. I feel like Teboho just doesn't care unless someone or something gives him a reason to. I mean, yeah. I think Letsile, doesn't care, right? He's running to make money this off year. He'll turn it on when it matters. That's why I say I think the World Relays was like priority number 1 for Letsile this year. Anything after that is just chalk. Who knows if he's going to go to Commonwealth? Who knows if he's going to like really, I mean, he'll take World Ultimate seriously, but like, I think the World Relays qualifying to the World Champs with that 4x1 and getting the world record, obviously they missed it, but it's like, that was priority number one because that meet was at home. And then anything after that, it's like, yeah, like it's chalk. Like, yeah, make money. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man. Oh, okay. Lockie Kennedy is just the Australian version of Jeremiah Zoo. No shade to my boy Jeremiah, though. Shout out to Jeremiah Zoo. I don't know though. Obviously, neither of them have made a final. Neither of them have a medal outdoors in the 100. But like, there's something. I'll say this. I think Lockie Kennedy is actually benefiting from the energy in Australia right now that will kind of carry him over to do a little bit better, this year and in subsequent years as well, right? Someone like Jeremiah Zoo, Great Britain has always been a main player globally for literally forever. I think Lockie Kennedy, Gout Gout, Aiden Murphy, Eddie Nketiah, like all these athletes in Australia, they are like motivating each other like indirectly. And I think, and obviously we just saw what happened with the relays. I think that is going to separate Lockie from some of these like other athletes who haven't been able to make finals. Now, this doesn't mean that he's going to make a final or win a medal. Like who knows what will happen next year, 2028, et cetera, et cetera. But I would not be surprised if we see Lockie run 9.8 this year. I would not be surprised if we see Lockie win Commonwealth Games this year. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. So we'll see. But we'll see what actually does happen. Oh, okay. Actual random. I think you're saying you're reading this completely wrong. You may have been talking to me, you may have been talking to someone else, but like regardless, you're reading this completely wrong. He was preparing for the 4x1 and is in much better shape for the 100. I think part of your statement is right. He was preparing for the 4x1. That I think is 100% right. But I don't think he was preparing or thinking about the rest of the year, right? Like I don't think that actually, him preparing for the 4x1, I don't think that directly translates to how he's going to do in a random Diamond League in Shanghai, at the early May. He was preparing to put on a show and qualify his team while he was at home in Botswana. That's what he was preparing to do. Forget what that means for subsequent races. This may be I don't know. We can't predict what Letsile is actually going to do here. So, we don't see. And yes, I think Akani and Lockie are, maybe they're my picks here. Maybe. But, it is what it is. Trayvon or Kenny will win. Trayvon most likely. Yeah, I ain't mad at that. And Trayvon is also hungry, right? He's looking to be like, yo, I want to like prove myself in a sense to like get back into the conversation. Just came off a bronze medal indoors, probably his best indoor season ever. Yeah, like as I'm thinking about it, it's like Trayvon is in some good form. Okay. Yeah, Letsile is similar to Sha'Carri on the circuit races. As you said, unpredictable. You just don't know what sort of form he's in or what he wants to run. It's like the thing is, Letsile can run. Let's see, like in this race, he can run 10.20 seconds in this race. Let's just say he equals his season's best. And then the next race, he can run 9.9. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And then he'll get to Ultimate Championships and run, 19 whatever. Like, he's so unpredictable, and that makes it hard to like parse him out. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Okay. All right. I think nah, I don't know. I don't think so. I honestly think Taboho is just slacking off these days. He showed it last season. I don't think he's slacking off. I just think he is taking things. He's prioritizing the big meets, and if anything, he's probably trying to like really make sure he can extend his career. So be a little more strategic about when he races hard. He probably is sandbagging at times as well, but it's like I don't know. It is what it is. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So, and we're gonna talk we'll talk a little bit about it, but yeah, folks are acting super weird towards Lockie and Aussie sprinters. It's getting super obsessive, and to bounce off that, the Australian sprinters are receiving the same amount of attention and hate as the Jamaicans and American sprinters get. Why are people trying to coddle them? Interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Australia is having a moment right now in terms of like a lot of high quality athletes, and I think they are capitalizing off of it in terms of like motivating each other and like pushing each other to be better every day. So I don't know. It is mixed. But I can acknowledge that like, I don't know. Trying to think through it. I was going to say like in any circumstances, athletes are going to be criticized when they start to do very well or when they start to be competitive. Obviously, there's going to be a form of nationalism that comes into play as well. Like, think even just on a baseline, think of how Jamaicans sometimes talk about American athletes and how Americans talk about Jamaican athletes. Like, a lot of those things, those dynamics occur. And I think now with Australia really having a moment and doing very, very well, specifically also heightened by Gout Gout having such a high profile and running fast, that is causing more eyes on them and more pushback. I know people are going to say like, oh, these athletes are running so fast out of nowhere, but like, I don't know if that's very fair. I don't know. I can cherry pick a lot of different examples from everyone. So I don't know. But it unfortunately comes with the territory. It comes with the territory. Okay. So just to before we move on real quick, I think the only other things, shout out to Carson Warholm. This is 300-meter hurdles. We'll see how he actually does play out. Trevor Bassett, he's still the world leader in the 400 hurdles, but this is 300 hurdles. Carson Warholm. Only thing I wanted to say is Carson Warholm is still one of the best athletes in the world. And even though he got 5th place last year, behind Nathaniel Ezekiel, he got 5th place at the World Champs last year. I think he's still one of the best in the world. Like, he ran 46 last year a couple times. Like, he ran the 300-meter world record. So 300-meter hurdle world record. So keep a lookout for this race overall, 300-meter hurdles. And then, there's some other races. You have the women's 100-meter hurdles, impossible to predict, but this field is stacked. Toby is here. Toby tomorrow, or maybe on either tomorrow, or I think tomorrow, she's running at the African Games in Ghana, and then she flies over to China. Devin Charlton, world indoor champion, just broke the world record. Ditaji Kambunji, Tonia Marshall, Akira Nugent, Masai Russell, Megan Simmons, Daniel Williams, Wu Yani, like, stacked field, stacked. If you predict this, who wins, you're lying, because like, you can't. Like, 100 hurdles is always so stacked. As I said, the women's 200. Shout out to the women's long jump. I do like this field. Some strong athletes here. I'm probably gonna do a dedicated video about the jumps because I've been watching them, but people don't like the jumps that much. But I'm gonna do a dedicated video on that. Men's 110 hurdles: Orlando Bennett, Jamal Britt, Jason Joseph, Enrique Lopez, Rachid Moritake. He just ran 13:05, which was like really, really big. And shout out to Cordell Tinch, who broke the world record here or in Xiamen last year. So I'm sorry. He ran 12:87. Sorry, not broke the world record. I'm getting ahead of myself. And then last one, just a shout out, is the women's 400. Aaliyah Butler, shout out. I just did an interview with her, so check that out. Roxana Gomez, don't sleep on Roxana Gomez. She made the Olympic final in 2021. Sawi Nasser, well, she ran, maybe her time just didn't come up, but she ran like 50.9 this year. So, we'll see. Nikisha Price, Paris Peoples is getting a lot of runway around the world. She's like dipping her toes. Mercy Oketech, Martina Veal, Sade Williams, and Stacey Ann Williams. So strong fields across the board for the women. For the Shanghai Diamond League. And this is coming up. And also, last one, my bad. Men's long jump, really good fields here. Mattia Farlani, Tajay Gale, Wayne Pinnock. We just saw him doing some sprinting. Like, listen, we gonna see. So that's Shanghai. I do want to quickly talk about just Tokyo very quickly, but appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it with Aaliyah. Yeah, Aaliyah's dope. Aaliyah was like real dope. So I got some more rolling down through the pipeline. So stay tuned. Yes, you not only saw Tara Davis Woodhall doing some hurdle workouts, but you also saw her run a hurdle race. Let me see. Let me see if I could pull it up. I don't know. I think she ran like 12:9 or something like that in the hurdles. She ran like 12:9 or something along those lines. Let's see if it came up. Yeah, she ran 12:9. So 12:9.9 in the 100-meter hurdles. Like, I don't know if she's back in it, like if she's going to be consistently running it, but like, yeah, she not only did workouts, she's actually ran the 400 hurdle. I'm sorry, the 100-meter hurdles. Don't forget, she's a NCAA indoor second place back in 2021, I think. Someone could cross-check me on that. I don't know. But like, yeah, she used to be a hurdler, a very good hurdler, indoor in high school as well. So shout out to Tara Davis Woodhall. She's in the mix there. Okay. Oh, yes. So shout out to the African Championships. Have you heard about the accommodation conditions for athletes at the African Championships? It's deplorable, man. I'm going to be honest. I just saw the things yesterday about the issues and all that. This is kind of sad, but I'm going to say this happens every year. Or every time there's a championships and African championships. And it's disappointing. It shouldn't be happening. Now, let me be clear, but it's almost like I got desensitized to it because I was like, this is another situation, another thing happening with the African championships, with African games. It's like, it's so disappointing. And it is it's a regional continental championships. So yes, I saw it. It's really unfortunate, really unfortunate. Okay. And then, last one on, I think, let's see. Why are we acting like a guy that ran 9.86 at 21 won't ever be able to run 9.7? Which of the guys you named were running 9.7 at 21? Okay, you're talking to someone else because I think let's see, can run 9.7. I don't know if he'll do it this year, but he's capable of it, whether or not. Just what happened in terms of African games, or African championships, just the hotel conditions, the athletes, being supported and treated, all those conditions there for the athletes staying in Accra, Ghana for the African championships. It's just not good. It's not really hospitable for the most part, but it's disappointing. It's disappointing to say the least. Okay. So last thing I want to talk about very quickly before I dive into, Gout Gout situation is just the men's, and this is all the website is down, so I'm going to just bring it up. Shout out to Global Athletics Hub. Website is down, so I just got to bring it up in on Twitter. Ghana was African Games. African Championships was Cameroon. I think so, in 2024. I forget which one. But they're in Ghana right now for the African champs. Cameroon was the really, really bad one back in 2024. Oh my gosh. I actually thought that was going to happen at World Relays, the conditions. I think the slight difference is Kenya, Botswana, and Botswana, they've had those continental tour meetings for some time now. And I think they've been able to build up their infrastructure around being able to support the athletes that do come in. Whereas West Africa, unfortunately, so countries like Nigeria, like Ghana, to a degree, obviously Cameroon, Ivory Coast, they haven't been able to build up infrastructure to support, I guess they I don't know, their infrastructure is so questionable. Ghana, I feel like does a little bit better, but Southern African nations, and then of course Kenya specifically with their continental tour meetings, they have almost been forced into a position to build up that infrastructure to support athletes, and all these other people coming in for their meets. There's nothing like that in West Africa yet. There's no continental tour meeting out there. So it is what it is. And yeah, South Africa, due to getting that hosting mix. Yes. Bahamas in 2028, bring it to South Africa in 2029 in terms of the World Relays. All right. So real quick, just two races I want to talk about. Tokyo Golden Grand Prix. This is going down on the 17th. So Shanghai on the 16th, Tokyo on the 17th. Noah Lyles, he's going to be running the 100. You'll have Jerome Blake. He just ran sub 10 this year. And then a couple other athletes. Keep a lookout for what Noah Lyles is able to do. This will be his first 100 of the year. He's already run 19.9 seconds this year in the 200. He's probably going to run. It'll be interesting, the contrast of what happens in Shanghai versus what happens in Tokyo, just an hour time difference over. So we'll see. The other thing is Jordan Anthony versus Courtney Lindsay. And shout out to Adrian Carr as well in Tokyo. So they're going to be running the 200. Jordan Anthony, this will be his first 200 of the year. So we'll see how he plays out. Courtney Lindsay coming off World Relays. So yeah, this should be an interesting kind of dynamic here overall. But yeah, Tokyo is a kind of low-key light meet. You do have the men's 400 with Rai Benjamin. He's going to be opening up here as well. This is actually a good 400 here. Rai Benjamin, Muzala Samakonga, Vernon Norwood, Reese Holder. What are we doing? You have Nakajima. What are we doing? Right? This is a pretty good 400 field. What can we expect from Reese Holder? What can we expect from Reese Holder? You know what I'm saying? What can we expect? Let me cross-check because I forgot what Reese Holder just ran. I hope this is up here already. Right? Am I looking at it? Reese Holder just ran 43.12. What can we obviously this is going to be an open 400. So don't say, oh, Reese Holder about to run 43 seconds, right? Reese Holder, man, this is a world where you can see, well, okay, let me pause. Rai Benjamin, he's opening up for the first time. So that's one. But Samukonga, he's already run 44 seconds. Vernon Norwood, he's already run 44 seconds. I haven't seen what Nakajima or Sato have run. Reese Holder, obviously, we've seen what he's done this year. This is going to be a good one. And Reese Holder sticking in that same time zone. Muzala Samukonga, Rai Benjamin, Vernon Norwood, they're traveling. Does that give a little edge to Reese Holder? Again, he just ran 43.12 on that second leg. So at World Relays, this is a good 400 field. Like, this is a very, very good 400 field. Random, I do agree with you on this, right? Like, I think Rai's going to do some damage in this season in the sprints. Yeah, I think he'll do some good damage in the 400 this year. And if he tries a 200, I know he's in some 400s. So yeah, Reese coming off that 400, that World Relays leg, and this was a very good. This is a good field. I like this 400 field. Okay, Reese Holder going a solid 44.7. I am mad at that, but will that be enough? Because Samukonga has already run 44 mid, and then Vernon Norwood, he ran 44.5 or 44.4 already. So this will be a competitive race. We're gonna see. Reese just needs to clean up that final 80 meters in his runs. He's like Francina McCory with the form breaking down. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Francina McCory was rough with the breakdown, even though she was able to run, relatively consistent in the 49 mid range. But like, she had some of the worst, like, I remember when she was at Hampton in the NCAA, that was one of the things. I just remember some interviews about how her arm was like, she spoke about her arm being like one of those. It was crazy. Francine McCory had some crazy form, but she was a very, like, for that era, she was pretty successful, which is crazy, and a world indoor champ. So yeah, that's a good call out. So shout out to Reese Holder. Yeah, what you said, no shade, but McCory's form is the same at the start to end. I mean, it gets worse. She got worse at the end, like really, really bad. Now, granted, she didn't have great form, but it was like, and okay, yes, this is what I was thinking of. Like 2015 4x4 at Worlds, it was so bad. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. Like, she was getting run down by Noveline Williams-Mills. Yeah, Francina McCory, I give a lot of props to Francina because she was a mainstay for the United States for some years. But like, yeah, her form was kind of rough. And a side note, I was just thinking about that 2015 4x4 because I was thinking about Allison Felix trying to get to the Olympic Games in 2028 and how she could displace a younger athlete on that team. And I remember how in 2015, Sonia Richards-Ross, she hadn't retired yet, but they used Sonia Richards-Ross in the 4x4 final in Beijing instead of Phyllis Francis, who made the 400 meter final at those champs. And I was like, oh, come on, yeah. So random side note there. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, okay. We gonna hold off. But yeah. Okay. So that's Tokyo. And I think the only thing to just shout out is what am I looking at here? Excuse me. Britton Wilson is running the 400 here as well. So I'm interested. I'll be following Britton Wilson throughout 2026. I'm very interested to see how she does. So shout out to Britton Wilson. Okay. So I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, we can go on to some other stuff afterwards, but let's just talk about Gout Gout real quick because I have a couple things to note with Gout Gout. Just a couple different things to give some context. This was an interesting interview with Gout Gout. Very interesting, kind of like 60 Minutes interview. But let's see. So I'm gonna start with let me see if I could start with I'll start with the good. And then we'll move over to the bad, because again, when I tell you this, yeah, let me make sure I could also just bring it up before, we get through. But when I tell you this whole Gout Gout stacks up against Usain Bolt in the 200, listen, y'all, I did not like this. So we'll talk about that in a second. But the first thing is going to be this. So first off, cross check. If y'all can hear this, I think y'all should be able to.
Made him an overnight sensation.
And that's what I'm doing.
Let me know if you can't hear this.
It's made him an overnight.
I'm just gonna, because I want to play just some clips to give some context. If you can't hear that, if you couldn't hear that, let me know. But
sensation.
You should be able to. Okay, good. All right. So first thing real quick is, well, this is pretty basic, but the first thing I just want to give context to, I'm just going to make this slightly like 1.25 just to have us flow through. But the big thing here is like the context around Gout Gout and his goals and what I've been saying this whole time.
That's what I'm doing.
It's made him an overnight sensation. He keeps getting faster, and on his current trajectory of speed, he could be a force at the LA Olympics in 2028. 4 years after that, the ultimate home game.
We're in Brisbane, you know, like this is home, place I grew up.
Brisbane, the only home Gout's known, hosts the 2032 Summer Games. Gout will be 24 then, the age when sprinters tend really to hit their stride.
Okay, I'm gonna pause there. And I obviously I can't make this bigger because like, you know, I don't want to get in no trouble, and I'm not gonna show like races and stuff like that. But I just wanted to start there because it's like this sets the stage for every single thing that we should think about with Gout Gout. The 100% ultimate goal is the 2032 Olympics. 2028, yes, sure, the Olympics are coming. 2029, world champs, 27, 2030, what, like all that is happening. The Olympics in 2032, that is the ultimate focus. His coach is even gonna, you know, note that as well. But even in terms of like how she's training him, but then also even his contract is tied to 2032. So all of this, like Gout Gout should be doing this, Gout Gout should be doing that, whatever. It's like Gout Gout's focus is 2032. And whether we like it or not, that is a focus. And I think we should adjust our expectations around that, right? That's why I'm just not too phased with the idea that like, if he runs 19.6 this year, obviously he already did. If he runs 19.5 this year, maybe he doesn't run faster until 2032, right? Maybe he doesn't win a single medal until 2032. That's up to Ya to adjust your expectations around if you feel like that's appropriate for him, or like if, you know, he was successful. But his goal is 2032, him and his coach. So anything before is just like icing on the cake. I guess before the cake is made, I don't know. But like, you know, I think that just does set the stage for everything Gout Gout does. I think that's like very, very important. Okay. The next thing I do just want to highlight is his coach. Let me just bring here. So his coach, I love his coach.
Don't. Note the woman in the visor. This grouchy grandma about to break up all the fun? That's Di Shepherd, Gout's coach, the only one he's ever had.
Do we need to chase the attention? I don't like the attention.
Oh yeah, I can pause there. I just like his coach. Amazing coach. She's low key. Like we said before, I think Dynamic said before, give some kind of like parallels to Wade Van Niekerk and his coach, where, you know, she was very, very old and he was kind of young and rising. She is, you know, an older woman and, you know, bringing up a young rising star. I love her. But what I really love, there's two parts that I really, really love, and like specifically kind of things that she noted and gives me confidence about them moving forward.
For all the attention and opportunities, Gout stayed in school, where in December he graduated with straight A's. And he stayed with Coach Di.
It's a pretty crazy dynamic when you think about it. The old white lady and a young black kid, you know, is crazy dynamic, but turns out it works perfectly and wouldn't have it any other way, yeah.
You appreciate it. Something almost like a movie, like cinematic.
It's straight out of a movie.
But it works.
Yeah, indeed, it does work. And I guess our personalities kind of filter off each other, like all on the same level, and we're all learning. So it's a great relationship.
This is very important. I think because of this dynamic that Gout Gout and his coach have, I think that played into how, like, the deal that you know, we'll talk about in a second that Gout Gout has, because obviously he's in Australia. I don't think he would have like left Australia, but there would have possibly been an aspect of like, okay, can we move you to a different group, or can we do, you know, move you to somewhere else, or can we like change your coaching setup or your training setup, you know, once you do finish school? But not because of that dynamic with his coach. And I think because of how like grounded his coach is, and like, I don't know, that relationship is really, really good. And I think that helped him with his deal to like give Adidas the confidence to be like, okay, nah, you can stay. And also gives me more confidence for the long term, where it's not this idea of like, oh, you know, she's my high school coach and like this, that, whatever. It seems like she's really locked in on the idea that like they are going to be successful in the future. Now, whether or not that happens, but it just provides me with a little more confidence after seeing kind of like how he spoke about her and how she spoke about him as well. Like they balance each other out very, very well for the long term. Now, the last thing just in relation to our coach is let me see. I think there was an aspect of like their training here. Let me see. Yes. Let me see.
That makes him extraordinary. But he's still an unfinished product, and Shepard says failing to account for that can bring about injury and burnout.
If I tried to make him super quick now, I'd break him.
You can't have a sprinter's approach to sprinting.
Just the fact he's a kid. And he's got so much more physical development. Like he only really hit puberty in the last 12 to 18 months, basically.
Really?
Yeah. I had to deal with a lot of growth issues with Gout. When I met Gout, he walked right up on his toes. Took me 6 months to get the heel down. And it wasn't all the way down. He still walked. That's why he looked like
He's got these springs in his...
That I think is so important. This is so important. The idea that she can't rush things and how she's had to really take a measured approach. This goes and connects back to the idea of like that immediate success that people are looking for. And this is why, like, when I get to this bulk comparison, it's like 60 Minutes not even paying attention to like what she's saying, but like she's taking a very measured approach. Getting like, imagine Gout Gout got injured. I mean, anything can happen, but imagine he got injured because she was trying to push him way too hard. She was like, okay, nah, we got to go to the world champs. We got to go to the Olympics. We got to go to Commonwealth Games, right? Like, and I saved a comment about, what did I see? Clipped. I saved your comment about like the narrative around Gout Gout if he loses World U20s. But like thinking about all these like major championships that people want him to go to or to these big races, like, nah, she's trying to be a little more measured. This also kind of does explain him racing less frequently last year, where I was probably one calling for him to be in bigger races. I was one who was critical about him racing that U23 race in Monaco. But like, I understand, again, hearing her, and just hearing her, I can understand why it makes sense to just have a much more measured approach based on how, he was, growing up, based on the fact that he still is growing and developing. I didn't even realize he's only 6 feet tall. I thought he was like 6'2" or something like that, but he's only 6 feet tall. It's relatively tall, but it's not like, I thought he was taller. So he's still growing and developing. No need to rush him. And again, circling back to the original point, the goal is 2032. All the other stuff is just stepping stones. So that's what I really like the fact that she is taking time with her. Now, the public may not appreciate it, but oh my gosh, he's not 5'9". He's, but who knows? But the public may not appreciate it, but I like her approach. I like her approach there. Okay. And then the last thing just from her, and then let's talk about this Adidas deal, is her talking about the times when he went to Europe last year. And I got to be careful because like these races. Okay.
Gout takes it by meter.
At the big meet in Ostrava in the Czech Republic, he took first in the 200, shaving time off his personal best.
I'm big on stepping stones. I'm big on, okay, well, we've got to enjoy that, but it's a step. You're not there yet.
We're not doing victory laps for what you did when you were 17 years old.
How many people run 20.04? Men. Not a boy, but men. So, yeah, you're there, but then he's got to take the next leap.
That is key. That is so key. Again, connecting back with the long-term strategy, right, of what they want to do, but also understanding, okay, what does this 20.04 mean, right? It's great right now, but we're trying to get somewhere even bigger a little bit later on. 20.04, not competitive, but it's important as part of the larger goal, right? Sure, he beat out Reina Mena in that race in Ostrava. Sure, it's 20.04. It's on the cusp of sub 20. That was last year. Obviously, he's run faster now, but it's like, how does this fit into the larger goal? Because this doesn't matter right now, right? This is only one part of what we're working on now. What matters is later on, all the bigger meets later on. Even the 19.67, obviously Gout Gout said he was a little shocked when he ran it, but it's like, that is a stepping stone towards a long-term goal. And that's even in itself, connecting with what she said in terms of like the 20.04, you can take that in context of the 19.67 that he ran and say, okay, that's one data point, but that's a stepping stone towards being consistent in the sub 20 range, right? Let's see Gout Gout get sub 20 consistently, run 19.9s consistently, run 19.8s consistently. That's going to be more indicative of being on the right path towards success in the future, right? So again, just overall, I like her. I like her approach. I really, really do like her approach. And she's great. I really like her. And I'm glad that Adidas didn't change up. They didn't like force her. I saw someone say like, oh, you thought that they would go to Lance Brahman. I actually partly thought that too, but I'm glad that they didn't. Okay, let's quickly just talk about this
on the track and using less steps than everybody else.
Predictably, brands have come calling. An Adidas deal reportedly pays Gout a base of more than $4 million over 8 years.
Were you
$4 million over 8 years. She got the my bad. She got the Anderson stamp of approval. Listen, I like it, man. I like her. I like her. But so $4 million over 8 years, right? Gout Gout is contract. Now, let me just play this one more time because I want to make sure what I heard.
An Adidas deal reportedly pays Gout a base of more than $4 million over 8 years.
Okay. An Adidas deal reportedly pays Gout over let's say $4 million over 8 years. So I like the choice of words, reportedly, right? I know that, and yes, and base as well. But reportedly is such an interesting word to me because it's like, I don't know. I feel like they would have said an Adidas deal pays Gout $4 million over 8 years, right? I say this because contracts are not public, right? Like track and field contracts are notoriously not public. So we'll say that this is 100% fact, right? Because it's out there and it's been reported and all kinds of stuff, but we don't know like the very specifics of his contract, but I'll roll with that. The good thing though, I saw he was getting a little bit of criticism, but he signed in 2024. So this runs all the way through 2032. Again, connecting back with the idea of the Olympics in 2032 are the ultimate goal. That is the goal. If Gout Gout doesn't do well next year, if he doesn't do well in 2028, in 2020, and 2031, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. But there is a lot of pressure on 2032, not only being at home, but then also with his contract as well. So I think, I know it was reported in December, or it was either October or December 2024. That's when he was reported to have signed with Adidas. So it'll run through the end of 2032. So that's, again, all connecting to the Olympics. But there was some criticism that Gout Gout was getting for this, like when this was announced, right? Or when this like came out, the interview came out with, noting that he's getting $4 million over 8 years. I think the big thing is, we don't know track and field contracts. So I personally don't understand where criticism might come from, because it's as if people, again, and I say criticism, these are people on Twitter who are like criticizing him like, oh, he didn't take enough. Oh, he should have gotten he should have been paid more. I mean, do you know? I would venture to guess that Gout Gout is probably one of the highest paid track and field athletes right now, just based on that deal. Think of all the pro athletes in track and field, right? Think of all the athletes who are signed to different brands and all that kind of stuff. Gout Gout may be on the higher, probably, not maybe, he is probably on the higher end of certain athletes. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, he signed in 2024 at the end of the year. What did Gout Gout do at that point? He was a silver medalist in the 200 at World U20s. That's it. In terms of times, he ran 20.60 seconds and 10.29 seconds. He was 16 years old. So yes, fast for the age, but on paper, he didn't do anything yet. So anything in context, right? But him signing that contract for, again, this $4 million over 8 years, that is a relatively big win for someone who, if he was any other athlete, we probably would have been like, why is he getting signed so much? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? XYZ. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, the 20.60 when he was 16, that was just slightly faster than Bolt at that same age. But like, listen, this was good. And I would venture to guess we're almost at 2 years at this point. I would venture to guess this deal for Adidas probably already paid off. Maybe not fully, but like in just a time frame, all things equal in terms of like what Adidas could have made in the past 2 years relative to, what they paid out Gout Gout in 2 years. They have probably already kind of like, things have already paid off. And again, because things are framed in 2032, right? That is the ultimate goal. Everything in between, he is still going to be generating all this interest, all this, energy, et cetera, leading into the Olympics in Australia. So even if he doesn't do well in 2027 or 2028, the goal is still the Olympics in 2032. So Adidas is still going to be able to benefit off of, their signing in from 2024 with Gout Gout. You know what I'm saying? I think for Adidas, it already did pay off. But then also in context, I would say there's an aspect of it paying off for Gout Gout already, considering what he has now done over the past year, where he has now run, 19.67. He's now run, 10.04 seconds in the 100. Like, he's already stepped up drastically. He's now a big mainstay going to, these different meets. I think Dynamic said it earlier in terms of 4 million over 8 years is his base. But just not last month, in February, he just signed he signed a deal with Vegemite, right? Which is massive in Australia. He also, of course, goes to meets and gets appearance fees and all these different kinds of things. Like, think of, they created a 150 race with Gout Gout versus Noah Lyles in Ostrava, right? Like, he's going to go to the Prefontaine Classic to race and be a headliner against Kenny B and Letsile Teboho. Like, Gout Gout, in terms of, coming out as a 16-year-old who only had a silver medal at the World U20s to now sign a deal like this with Adidas and now be one of the most high profile athletes in the sport. I think this is paying off for Gout Gout. Now, you can debate or discuss whether or not he should be making more or this, that, whatever, but I think it's working out. I think it's working out. And by the time you get to 2032, he's probably going to be able, obviously, hopefully he'll have done well, and he'll be able to, renegotiate up at that point, because he's already one of the biggest names. Don't let Gout Gout win a gold medal in 2032. Forget the world records, forget, times. Let's say he stays at the same time, 19.67 seconds, but he wins a gold medal in Australia in 2032. He's through the roof. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget 4 million. Like, who knows what he'll be able to, negotiate and make at that point. And he'll only be 24 years old at that point. You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole different thing. I think, in my opinion, this is a pretty good, not pretty good. I think this is a very, very good deal if it's, based on what's reported, et cetera, for Gout Gout. You know what I'm saying? I think of like, someone sent this to me earlier, but like with Andre DeGrasse, there was, again, speculation, right? Not facts, not confirmed in any capacity, but there was the speculation with, I'm just going to look this up here. Andre DeGrasse, I think it was 11 million. Let me go to, Canadian running. Yeah, it was like 11.2 million. This was back in 2015 that it was reported. What's going on here? This was back in 2015 that it was reported after he won the bronze medal at the World Champs in Beijing, right? The 100 meters behind Bolt, Gatlin, and then he tied with Trayvon Bromell. Reported, but who knows if this is like 100% correct? But just the idea that like someone who was a double NCAA champion in the 100 and the 200, he was a world medalist. He was Canada's future golden boy. Went on to become one of the best in Canada. And he had this kind of deal over the course of like, I think this was a long time. This was like 10 plus years or something, maybe even longer, right? And again, this is all speculation, right? We don't know like any specific contracts in track and field. For all we know, Gout Gout, his actual amount of money that he's making could be like, 10 million or, 4 million, or I'm sorry, or like 1 million, who knows, right? But it's reported as 4 millions. But, I think this was a good deal for Gout Gout. So, and he's probably the highest paid athlete in Australia. Like, I would venture to guess. I mean, obviously you have a couple different athletes between Nina Kennedy. You have a couple others. Cam Myers. Who knows? And I think Cam Myers might be up there. But who knows? Gout Gout is like on a different level. And when you get to be compared to Usain Bolt, that is a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? So, that's at least this part. I do want to move over to the second part where I got really I don't know. Let me not say angry. I don't get mad at anything, but I was just disappointed. And okay, so I'm just gonna go to this this Gout Gout Usain Bolt comparison, and just like I'm just gonna talk about why I was kind of like I'm a little like disappointed with like this what their comparisons are. Let me see. Do I have something on this? Let me see. Okay, 45 seconds. I hate comparisons. Oh yes, and Jess Hull. My bad. I was trying to think of Jess Hull. Yeah, Jess Hull definitely in there as well. So a couple of different athletes from Australia for sure. Oh wait.
Just last month at a race in Sydney, Gout became the fastest teenager in the history of the world in the 200.
Can he be as quick as this morning?
Running a 19.67, the time that would have won him bronze at the 2024 Olympics.
I want to pause right there. I hate this.
0.67, a time that would have won him bronze at the 2024 Olympics.
I just want to say, and I'll admit at the start that I probably have been guilty of this before in different contexts, but I'm going to say this now and I'm going to do this going forward. I hate moving forward comparisons like this time, would have won this medal at a previous championships. I don't like those comparisons when we look backwards, specifically when we look backwards. Looking forward, I'm more in line with it, but I don't like it. I know, again, this is like 60 minutes. They're trying to appeal to a wider audience and to a public who doesn't understand track, but I don't like the backwards comparisons, right? Because sure, Gout Gout would have won bronze in 2024. He also would have won silver in 2021. He also would have won gold in 2016. Like, how far back do we have to go to say this time would have won something in the past, right? In my opinion, times are supposed to get faster, right? Like, that's literally the point of progression in track and field. So saying a time in the future would have won a medal in the past, that for me, that's I push back on that a little bit. It's also, you can't account for a specific situation, right? Like, what happened in that Olympic final? What was it that led to these athletes getting those specific medals, right? For example, you could say Noah Lyles, his 19.31 would have won gold in 2021, but Noah Lyles was in that 2021 Tokyo Olympic final and he didn't win gold, right? So like, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? Like the conditions to a degree, not just the time. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Noah Lyles, he ran a faster time than what won gold in 2021 at the Tokyo Olympics, but he was in that race and he didn't win gold. So you have to account for everything that happened in that specific race. And again, I personally don't like the backwards comparisons because I think of like, the contextualization isn't great to me. Again, Gout Gout's time of 19.67, it would have won gold in 2016. Great. To me, that doesn't do enough, right? That doesn't do too much. But yeah, okay. So the time comparison is fine. Ignoring the conditions is not. Yeah. So that's why I bring up like the Noah Lyles 2021, because like I want to take into consideration everything that occurred in context of that race and the meet, et cetera, et cetera. Zarnell ran 19.78, fastest fifth place ever. Don't think anybody has a problem saying that's a crazy time to run for fifth. Yeah, absolutely. But like, you can't just then lift up Gout Gout and place his 19.67 into the Tokyo World Champs last year and say that, okay, he would have gotten, oh my gosh, wow, he would have gotten, that's crazy. He would have gotten fifth place. He would have gotten fifth place. Like, I don't know if it works like that. Maybe he would have gotten sixth place, like, or seventh or eighth. I don't know. But that's my only thing. The only thing I'm just more in favor, and I'm going to get back to this in a second, but I'm just more in favor of when you take a performance from the past and use it to look forward, to put it in context of how impressive that performance from the past was. I'm not as in favor of it from future to past. So for example, like if you think of even Frankie Fredericks, right? Frankie Fredericks in 1996, he ran 19.68 seconds. If I took that time and said his time in 2024 would have won the bronze medal, right? Behind Letsile and Kenny B, because Noah ran 19.70. So if I take Frankie Fredericks 19.68 from 1996 and said he would have won the bronze medal, that to me, at least the way I see it, it's not necessarily saying, okay, he would have gotten bronze, but it's the idea that he ran so fast in the past, like decades, 30 years prior, that he ran a time that would have been competitive, into the future, like 30 years into the future. Someone like Evelyn Ashford, she ran 10.76 back in 1984. That's a time that would have medaled at every Olympics in the future. To give the context that she ran a time that was like ahead of her time, essentially. That's kind of like where I think about. And that's why I'm starting to maybe get a little frustrated on like, this time would have medaled at these games in the past. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Okay. Okay. But okay. So all that was just my little gripe. But let me go to this. Okay.
Usain Bolt is still the current would have won in bronze at the 2024 Olympics. Usain Bolt is still the current world record holder for the 200. He has a time of 19.19 seconds. If you break down Gout Gout's record time for under 20 versus Usain Bolt's record time for all time, you really get a sense of where Gout can make up that time.
Set.
Looking at the split times, it's clear Gout was much slower off the blocks. Based on the data we reviewed, Bolt ran the first 100 meters at 9.92 seconds, while Gout trailed behind at a much slower 10.43 seconds.
When I tell you this is so annoying. Yes. Well, I mean, at baseline, I guess there's nothing wrong. Yes, obviously, Bolt, 992, round the curve, fastest ever. Gout, he can't run the curve. Like, he just can't run the curve. Cool. Well, sure. I think that's fine. But
note, Gout started to close that gap between 100 and 150 meters, reaching a blindingly fast top speed of around 25 miles an hour.
I just want to pause there real quick. I don't like how they're doing like mind tricks for the public, because notice they first started talking about his first split in the 100, and then they add in like, oh, Gout did this and he started to reach this miles per hour, in the second, 100 to 150. It's like mind tricks for the public to say, oh, Gout was running insanely fast. They didn't say how fast Bolt is running, and then they're giving the splits, which, yes, like, and I'm not even a splits person, but like, questionable. I don't know, man. I don't know, but is what it is.
And then at just 18 years old, Gout actually ran faster than Bolt in the final 50 meters, the data clocking him at 4.67 seconds compared to Bolt's 4.75 seconds.
Like, we're just not doing this. Like, we're just not doing this, man. I don't know, man. When I this is like just so, it's just so annoying. And I guess, sure, maybe it's not mind tricks. They just don't understand it. Yes, it's just annoying. I mean, I'm already kind of like, the Bolt comparisons, I don't know. The Bolt comparisons are just like way too much. But then when they start coming in with the different splits, when they start coming in and saying, well, actually, my bad. Let me finish this. The worst thing to me, I don't know if it's worse, but like, let me finish this real quick. It's like a couple seconds.
What does that say? If Gout can improve his time off the blocks, the second half of the race, he's got it. So,
do you hear this, man? Do you hear this?
Improve his time off the blocks. 5 seconds.
Hold on.
What does that say? If Gout can improve his time off the blocks, the second half of the race, he's got it. So,
all Gout has to do is get a good start, and he's got the world record. He's got 1919. Oh, no big deal. Like, he's got it. Like, what are we talking about? This is like, oh my gosh. I think, I don't know. Sure. Me, I don't know, man. This is like, I just remember watching this. I was like perfectly fine. This whole, 13-minute story. I loved his coach, whatever. And then I see this, like second Bolt clip. It's like, I just don't like these Bolt comparisons. Again, this whole split comparison, it's just not fair. It's not fair. It's not accurate to compare Gout's 1967 to Usain Bolt's 1919 using these splits, using the miles per hour. It's just not a fair comparison. Even if the splits are 100% accurate, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just not fair. Like, there's so many things going back to what we said about, or, my kind of gripe of like comparing even a performance and putting it back in history, but just like the conditions that a race is run, all those kind of aspects, the work that has been put in. Like, Usain Bolt didn't just wake up and run 1919, right? He had to work for years, like literally years, to be able to get to that point, right? In Beijing 2008, he pushed himself all the way to the line, leaning to the line to run 19.30 to barely break Michael Johnson's world record. And then when he runs 1919, everything coming together perfectly, coming off that nine. Well, actually, it's even more so. Like, it's the fact that Bolt was so superhuman, where he was able to double running 4 rounds of the 100, running 4 rounds of the 200 to end off with that 1919. There's just no comparison. There is no comparison. And please don't ever say like, oh yeah, as soon as he, fixes his start, he's got it. Like, what do you mean he's got, like, he doesn't have it? We went through Johan Blake. We went through Noah Lyles. We went through Letsile. We've gone through, Ariane Knighton, right? We're seeing Brian Levette. Like we've seen all these athletes who have already run faster than Gout Gout. And yes, I understand the context of Gout Gout in the future could get to that point. He will likely run faster. Hopefully he'll run faster and all that stuff. But like, I don't see the purpose of doing a comparison of Gout Gout's 19.67 to Bolt's 1919 right now, when other athletes who are drastically better have already run faster. I might need to, because I'm not sure I can even, like, when I tell you I watched this video for the first time, I was like, what is going on? What is going on? And this is only like 2 minutes into the video or whatever. And obviously they have more of the video and all this stuff. They start to do Noah Lyles comparison, saying Noah Lyles was the heir apparent to Usain Bolt, and all this stuff is whatever. It's just like, it's too much, man. It's too much. And again, I acknowledge that Gout Gout in the future, he can definitely, he could break Usain Bolt's world record one day. Obviously, anything can happen. But you just could do this breakdown for any athlete. Like, you can do this breakdown of splits and all this stuff and miles per hour. You can do this for any athlete. Yes, Gout Gout is the topic of conversation, but it just seems a little disingenuous to me to jump and compare to Usain Bolt's otherworldly 19.19. Like, I really don't think, I don't think the world understand. Like, 1919 is insane. 9.58 is obviously insane, but also 19.19 is insane. I would also, well, this goes to another thought I have, but I think Johan Blake running 19.26, I think, and obviously the general public doesn't understand, but I think that maybe skewed our perception of how tough 19.19 is. It speaks to how, like, talented Johan Blake was, but like 1919 is tough. 1919 is very, very tough. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna end on that for now, because like, it's too much. I might do like some separate video. It's just it's so annoying, man. It's so annoying. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. But that's all Gout Gout. I will say I was impressed with his coach. I'm very, very impressed with his coach. I'm very impressed with his coach. And I'm very, like, it just gives me more excitement for Gout Gout going forward. I'm actually more excited watching that whole, like, understanding where his coach came from, understanding her mindset and like the long-term strategy. I know the public is never going to be satisfied. Like, we all want performances right now, right? Even with these Diamond Leagues, I'm saying, like, yeah, Sha'Carri, I have no expectations, but whatever. I mean, if I saw Sha'Carri run 23.5, I'd be like, what's going on, right? That's just me as someone who watches the sport, and like, I can't control the idea that, like, I want to see fast times. But I do like the fact that his coach is thinking very, very long term with him. And the best thing that could have happened to Gout Gout is the fact that the Olympics are in Brisbane in 2032. Because if the Olympics were in somewhere else, then that long-term strategy might have been a little bit different. So, but yeah, shout out to Gout Gout. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how he kind of progresses. But yeah, I don't know. Oh yes, and this is a good point, and I'm gonna get to some comments. I just have one other thought. But breaking Bolt's records doesn't make you Usain Bolt. Usain is just the GOAT for the records, but the consistency Usain isn't just the GOAT for the records, but the consistency and the dominance. This is key, and I might have spoken about this in a previous live, or maybe after he ran 9. I don't know, one of these things. Just the idea that, let's say Gout Gout goes out there and breaks, and he runs 19.67. I'm sorry, he runs 19.19, right? Or he runs let's say Gout Gout runs 19 flat, hypothetically, one day. He doesn't have 3 consecutive Olympic gold medals in the 200. He doesn't have 4 consecutive world championship gold medals in the 200 at world champs. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have the 19 point, well, he may have other times behind then as well, but like, he doesn't have he didn't beat out Johan Blake, who ran 19.4 at the Olympics in 2012, right? He didn't beat out, all these other guys all along the way to do all that. Like, there's different things that brought Bolt to become the athlete that he is. So yeah. Okay, the last thing I'll say is, just before I read some of these different comments, but the last thing I'll say is, as I was like thinking through all this and like getting mad at this Bolt comparison, it did remind me of like all the, the young prodigies, the next Usain Bolts, between whether it was, now it's Gout Gout, you had Ariane Nain, even Noah Lyles to a degree. You can even say, I guess, Trayvon Bromell to a degree. You had Johan Blake back in the day. Excuse me. I think, in my opinion, the more that I think about it, the only athlete who I legitimately think had the case to become, well, I don't know, everything, because there was so much that went into Bolt in terms of his medals, but I think Johan Blake was probably the closest athlete, or the only athlete who had a legitimate case to say, I was truly the next Usain Bolt because of like what he did. Because of what he did in terms of his times, and also because of how he was actually like running races and winning races. You know what I'm saying? Obviously he got injured, so we never, we'll never get to see like what he could have done. But like, I was even watching Johan Blake's races back from 2009. So that was the year that he got banned. So, all of his marks are removed from that year. But like, Johan Blake was very, very special in terms of his talent on the track. Obviously, I'm semi-critical of Blake when it comes to like all-time, careers in the 200 specifically, because he only has that Olympic silver. But there is no denying Johan Blake's talent. I truly think he of any athlete had the best case of being the next Usain Bolt. And I will probably, as of now, I'll say that I don't think any athlete has come close to what Johan Blake was capable of doing, or showcasing like that level of talent. Yes, Gout Gout is amazing. Yes, Ariane Nain, he showed that talent. Even Trayvon Bromell, I've said that I thought and think that at a point Trayvon Bromell was a guy to potentially, break the American record in 100. Who knows? Trayvon might surprise and like show up this year as well. But I think Johan Blake was a special athlete. Like, he was a truly, truly special athlete. Like, yeah, that's what I went down a rabbit hole after watching this interview of like just Johan Blake's races. Like, Johan Blake was talented. He was talented. And I'm going to go back to some older comments, but you think Wade could have been the next Bolt across the 200 and 400 without the injury? So like, could he have been the next Michael Johnson essentially? Maybe. I don't think, how can I say this? How can I think about this? I think Wade's 200 talent was, the problem with Wade is that he would have run into Noah Lyles, right? Like, imagine he didn't get injured. He would have run into Noah Lyles. And Noah Lyles, by 2018, he was already running 19.5. I'm not sure that Wade would have been able to get, or wait, was not 2018. 2018, he ran 19.6. 2019, he ran 19.5. So I just think he wouldn't have been able to get through Noah Lyles. So essentially, no. He would have dominated the 400, but like, he wouldn't have been able to do that in the 200. So yeah, nah. Let me just circle back. Okay, so Bolt is also the GOAT because he didn't run his times at Fugazi venues. He did it at the championships against the best in the world, bar his 200, which he had no comp for majority of the time. Yeah, for majority of them. Yeah, I mean, and he did it with 4 rounds. People forget Beijing 2008 and Berlin 2009 were 4 rounds. Like, the fact that he did 2, even 2007, he only ran the 200 there, but that was also 4 rounds. Like, he did multiple championships running 4 rounds of the 100 and 200, running world records at the end of them. Come on, man. Okay, I'm gonna roll through some comments and then I like that Gout Gout Usain Bolt comparison was annoying. Zero coverage. Okay, there will be zero coverage when Gout Gout gets cooked by Noah, Kenny, and Let's See this summer. I don't know if Gout Gout will get cooked. I think he'll hold his own, but like, also, I guess the expectations are different. I don't expect Gout Gout to beat any of them, to be completely honest. But like, I don't know. Is what it is. Yeah, good point. Kashane Thompson was not running 10.2 until 2023. He was running 10.2 until 2023. He was not on anyone's radar. Yeah, I spoke about this with Gout Gout, with the idea that like Kashane Thompson popped out of nowhere until 2023. Brian Lavelle popped out of nowhere until 2024, 2025, right? Like a lot of athletes, by the time we get to 2031, there's going to be a brand new athlete who just popped up that year and is going to be challenging for gold in 2032. Like anything. Yeah. Oh yeah. Bolt is a GOAT. Oh, my bad. Bolt is a GOAT for too many reasons. Literally broke the world record in his 5th time ever running a 100-meter race. 100%. And yes, 4 rounds in Bolt era. They all ran 4 rounds too. Plus, most key players ran both the 100 and the 200. Facts. Jumpman does have a video from a couple years back analyzing the careers of athletes who are referred to as the next Bolt. Yeah, he does have that. And I need to circle back. I saw it from a couple years ago. I think, in my opinion, and this is personally my opinion, there's no athlete who has a legitimate argument for the next Usain Bolt. Obviously, there's the narrative around like what the next Usain Bolt means, but I think in terms of talent, obviously there's times on the clock, but I think Johan Blake, bar none, or if anything, he just has the best case for the next Usain Bolt, or being the next Usain Bolt, right? In terms of his career, I think that was Johan Blake was crazy. Like Johan Blake was crazy. My bad. Let me get to let me just roll through a couple different comments here, and I'm gonna get to the ending ones. Oh yes, I wanted to see some side angles of Elaine, Brussels 2016 and Paris 2021. I'm gonna check those out. I think I might have watched Paris 2021 after that live stream that we did, so I'm gonna tap in. Okay, okay. Actual random. Noah ran 19.8 at championships in 2019 and 19.7 in 2021. So I don't think Noah is really his problem. But this is where we get into the hypotheticals, right? Because Wade Van Niekerk, he ran 19.8, but then at the championships in 2017, he ran 20 seconds, right? And you asked specifically the Bolt of the 400, 200. We saw what he did when he doubled in the 400 and the 200. He didn't run as fast in the 200. Now he barely lost, but like it's unfortunate we just haven't seen him run being capable of doubling like that. He hasn't done what Michael Johnson or Usain Bolt have been able to do. Right. So there's that aspect that I'm taking into consideration. So that's why I say you would have run into Noah Lyles. And then Noah Lyles now at championships, he runs 19.5. Right. So I don't know. And then even when he's not doing well, he runs 19.7. So at the championship. So that's what I take into consideration. Okay, my bad. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. I just want to get some more of the recent comments. There's a lot of rounds. They said he was a straight A student. Okay. Oh, Melissa versus Julien. Yep. I'm going to talk about that next time because they're going to run at Rome in the 200. That's going to be interesting. Oh, yeah. I just said this, right? Wade hasn't shown he could go 19.8, 19.7 when doubling. Literally just said that. Okay. Yeah. Training vid with Gout Gout and Noah. It's not going to be close. He might not even be even with the same frame. That it's a training video. Like that video meant nothing. Like I literally watched that video once and I was like, okay, cool. Like it means nothing. Any of these training videos, they mean nothing to me unless it's like actual practice. Like, I don't know, man. But I respect it. Okay. Oh, okay. How many men's 100-meter final? My bad. How many men's 100-meter finals can you name that had above 1.0 apart from 2012? I'd have to go back to the 90s. The problem with having wind like that is, my bad for the background noise. The problem with any wind above 1.0 is that in these stadiums, right? Like the stadiums are just going to reduce the wind. I don't know what was, let me see. No. My bad. I'm just going to bring this up. Let's see. So you have, what was it for Eugene? Oh no, this is -1. Okay, I was gonna say because Eugene was an open stadium. I don't know though. But yeah, I don't know. You'd have to look back in time a little bit. Okay, so young Noah came to the Diamond League final and beat Guliev that year. Wade and Guliev, lucky Noah and Andre weren't there in 2017. Yeah, that's true. Noah he won Shanghai earlier in 2017. He got injured at USA's, and then so he couldn't go to Worlds, and then he won the Diamond League final. Yeah. There'll never be another Usain Bolt in our lifetime. There will be. It may just take a long time, but there will be. Never say never. People literally said there'll never be another. Like, think of what Carl Lewis did back in the 80s and the 90s. Usain Bolt surpassed that. People thought that 19.32 for Michael Johnson would never be broken. It's been broken. It's been broken a couple times. People at one point said the women's 400-meter world record will never be broken. I was one of those people. It's going to get broken. Like these things, yeah, it'll take a while, but like these things will happen. Yep, comparing competitive careers to ones that have barely begun. Only time will tell. Reset approach on allowing athletes to develop expected physiological and psychological milestone makes perfect sense. 100% agree. In general, I agree. Like, yeah. Time will tell. Noah ducking. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on, I'm just getting to some different comments. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So you're responding to a comment that said that 2025 final had no wind, pointing out that there isn't usually above 1.0 wind. Yeah. My bad. Exactly. Yeah. Like those, just because of the nature of like these massive stadiums, like you're not going to get like a lot of wind. You're just not going to get a lot of wind. So don't expect it at these championships, at any major championships. Eugene, I could imagine it happening there though, because sometimes, well, I don't know. Well, no, I don't know. But don't expect a lot of wind. Yeah. Hey, I respect it. Even though I'm not a fan, Noah is the last athlete to duck any smoke. Noah goes out there and runs. Like he goes out there and runs. Like think about, Noah could have, last year when Noah got injured or whatever, he could have been like, nah, I'm good. I'm not running on the circuit. Or no, I'm going to run like at these smaller meets. Nah, he went to USA's to run the 200 against Kenny B, who had been on fire. He went to the Monaco Diamond League. He went to the, what was it, Zurich or Brussels? Like he could have went to all those things. Yes, he could have skipped the 100 at the World Championships. Like Noah is already signed up. That Noah is about to, he's going to Tokyo as his 100-meter opener. He already ran the 200 against Max Thomas. He's already signed up for the Rome Diamond League against Jordan Anthony, who is the hot guy right now in the 100. He's already, what else? He's, what am I thinking of? There's like others. He's going to the 150 against Gout Gout. Like, all due respect, if, for all the people who don't, or not even don't like, because it's like true, like people cannot like Noah, but like you cannot say that he ducks. Like you cannot say that he ducks. Like, yes, he ran at USA's and Worlds. 2022. Think about 2022 when he also had the wild card to the World Champs, but he showed up after Ariane Knighton ran 19.4 and after the entire world of media was like, Ariane Knighton is about to beat Noah. Ariane Knighton is about to win the gold medal. He went to USA's just to, defend his title. And then he, of course, runs 1931 at Worlds. Like Noah does not duck. Noah does not duck. So yes, I think everyone can have like different criticisms of Noah, but you can't say that he ducks. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I don't think you could replicate what Carl and Bolt did because of the depth. Bolt could run 20 through rounds. You can't do that anymore. Well, yes. The problem is, the reason I say, and I was responding specifically to the comment of like, we'll never see another Bolt in our lifetimes, is because we're going to see conditions that will just continuously adjust, to meet, and we'll see like athletes stand out, because of that. Even like think of Carl Lewis in his era. I mean, I don't know. I always go back to like the 1991 World Championship final where like what, 2 guys, maybe 3, did Dennis Mitchell do it too? But like broke the world record, and like everyone ran personal best and everyone broke like the top 10, the top 10 all-time mark. Like that final was insane. But Carl Lewis at that point was able to rise to the occasion to win the gold medal. Many people probably would have said, we don't know if we're ever going to see something like that again. Fast forward to 2012, and we have a whole new era of different athletes. Obviously, you have the chance to be able to, like you said, run 20, through rounds. But it just gets faster, right? Every generation just gets a little bit faster, but each athlete is able to adjust to the time period. Someone like, I like Brian Lavelle I'm not saying Brian is going to be next Usain Bolt, just for context, but Brian Lavelle last year, when he was running the 19.8, then the 19.7, there was a level of comfortability that he showed in those rounds. Now, well, he actually PR'd afterwards, right? He ran 19.64 to get the bronze medal. But like that may just be the standard going forward, right? And I'm talking like 30 years down the line, that's what we may see, where, okay, athletes are running 19.8s in the heats and the semis to be able to get through the rounds. But then there's one other athlete who is also doing that, but that is a comfortable standard, right? I'm never going to say never for anything. And I'm talking long timelines, 30, maybe 40 years down the line, we may see another one. But in our lifetimes, like, great, all due respect, right? I don't know how old everyone is, but like, I think in my lifetime, we may see another Bolt. it just Bolt did set a very, very high bar, but like I'm never gonna say never. That's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. Never say never. Okay, so do you think Usain Bolt's career was better off in the no social media era, or would it be better? As a fan, I would have loved these types of convos back then. And just comment here. So Bolt in his social media era would have been cracked. Asafa is lucky he was not in this era. He would have been getting cooked. I think Bolt in the social media era, obviously, he would have been a much bigger athlete than he already is. But I think there's an aspect of Bolt's. I don't know. I guess there's an aspect of Bolt's career being really good in the quote unquote non-social media era, right? Like in the early days. And then like the end of, well, really, I don't even know. The end of his career really wasn't even like peak social media, to be honest, right? You're post 2020 is like peak social media. I wonder how it would have affected him as an individual, right? Like the mental state that he would have had. You know, and not only that he would have had, but also his competitors would have had. I think we might have lost a few athletes to, you know, to social media. Like there would have been certain athletes who maybe would have like prioritized money and fame in a certain more accessible way that social media makes it, than actually spending time competing, right? Now, obviously I can't predict that, but I just think of how social media does affect certain athletes. But so yeah, I don't know. I would say that I appreciate Bolt's career not being in the social media era. It would have been dope to see like how big, like Usain Bolt would have been massive. Like if we just took his career and put it in the social media era, Usain Bolt would have been otherworldly. Like otherworldly. It would have been scary, to be honest. So I don't know, but it's a good question. It's a good question. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, well, yes. Okay, so relax. You must realize that Australia looking at possibly their next superstar. A track star is not often in their world. So I'm gonna give you 60 minutes. I'm gonna give you 60 minutes a pass with the report. That's fair. It's just, I think, let me be clear too. Like, I think as a track fan, for us, I think we have the right to be annoyed, because I can understand like what they're doing, and I can understand like how they have to market to the general public and to capitalize off of this big their next big superstar. But like I also have to be critical. Like I can't let them get away with saying that he can, like, you know, he just has to get a better start and then he could break Usain Bolt's world. It's like, come on, y'all. Like we can't get away with that. Again, I understand why, and I'm not like pushing back, but listen, the people here, like, y'all know track, so I'm gonna let it live. But yeah, I respect it. I respect it. I respect it. Okay. Okay, let me see. I'm just rolling through. Interesting. Asafa actually looks better now than he did then. Well, man, Asafa is fit. If Asafa could run like 10 flat right now. I don't know. Asafa is fit right now. Shout out to Asafa. Yeah. And then yeah, this is in relation to Noah. He didn't have to run the 200, but he did. I think yeah, makes sense. Bolt is different though. Generations after him became slower, showing how hard it is to even come close. Hence why we were so crazy about Kashane just running 9.75. I think maybe. I think I agree. Hence why we were so crazy about Kashane just running 9.75. Yeah, I think we agree. I think I agree because, well, to a degree, the Usain Bolt era with the 100 was so insane that now seeing someone get close to what all those guys did, the Usains, Johans, Justins, Tysons, like Asafas, like what they did, that's where it's like so special. But then on the flip side, just on the 200 side, I don't think we're appreciating how insane this era of 200 meter sprinting is. This era of 200 meter sprinting is better than the Bolt era, bar none. Like bar none. Go look back at what Usain Bolt, what everyone behind Usain Bolt was doing. It was not as deep as this era. So it's you know, there's a balance here. Obviously, you know, this you're saying in context to the 100. But I think there's both sides. But yeah, in general, I can agree here. Okay. Yeah. I still don't understand how Bolt ran 9.58 and he could have run faster in Brussels where he ran 9.77. I don't know. No, that Brussels race 9.77, he wasn't running 9.58. I don't know, but yeah. But I respect the comment though. I still, his 9.58 is crazy. It's crazy. Let's see. Okay, some of the people here no track, some of the people are stands, but I think most people, I don't know, man. I think we can agree. I'm gonna tell y'all now. You have to understand, Gout Gout is in no position where we should be comparing his 1967 to Bolt's 1919 and saying, oh, if he just gets a better start, then he's got it. Like, no. Like, if you're watching and you don't follow, like, no. Do you have an interview finished that's dropping this week? Not the big ones you can't speak about. No, I actually don't. So I'll say this. What happened is this is the tricky part. This is the absolute tricky part, right? I can reach out to certain people. I can schedule certain things. Well, I can reach out to certain people. It's up to them, obviously, to get back to me. A lot of people do get back to me, but then it's also up to them to make sure they stick to the schedule. So I'll say that happened. Like, there were some people I was supposed to speak with last week who I didn't speak with, but I have a whole bunch of interviews coming. So by what's today? Tuesday. So by Thursday, maybe Thursday or Friday, I should have a few out. So like actually posted. The big one, what's this weekend? The big one I'm doing tomorrow. That one is, I'm 100% scheduled. And I say it's big. I know it's like, let me be clear. I'm not interviewing like Usain Bolt or like Asafa Powell or like, Tyson. Like, it's not like that. But I think contextually, it'll be pretty cool. And like, I'm going to hopefully conduct the interview in a way that's like, hopefully we'll get a good, like some good, just like thought process and maybe get some good conversation. So yeah, I say big because like, I don't know, it's not like big, like it's not going to break the internet or anything. Like, but I think just as a sprint fan and like based on the landscape of sprinting right now, it's interesting. I find it pretty interesting. And I think a lot of people will find it interesting. Hopefully. We'll see. But it's somebody who has a record. I'll say that. Okay. You say Gout Gout will get close to the 200 within a 10th. So you think Gout Gout is going to run 19.2, but give me a when. What time frame? When is Gout Gout going to run 19.2? Because you're saying that Usain Bolt, he ran 19.19. If you're saying that Gout Gout will get close to the 200 within a 10th, so that gives you 19.29. When is Gout Gout going to run 19.29? Give me a time frame, right? Like, we can't throw things out. Ducking doesn't matter if you win a championships. If you aren't ready, you aren't ready. But I'm still respecting the work done on the circuit. Yeah, I mean, that's why I kind of said, like, with Kishane Thompson, like, I know he pulled out and, like, he's injured and all that. But I also question, like, does it even matter? Because it's like, at the end of the day, the world champs in the Olympics are what matters. So, I don't know. It's, if you're going to pull out of a meet to benefit yourself, then, then that's good. But obviously we as fans want to see it. But I don't know. The sport is tricky. Yes, guys are getting desensitized seeing 19.5 lows. Do you understand that Letsile ran 19.46? Kenny B has run 19.5 a trillion times, right? Noah has run 19.5 a trillion times, 19.5, 19.6, all that. Like, Noah, people, this is how crazy it is. People have been clowning Noah for winning gold medals in 19.5. Like, do you understand how crazy that is? People have said, oh, he hasn't run faster than 19.5 at championships. So 19.5 at championships. Like, what are you talking about? Like, come on, y'all. Like, we are not appreciating how insanely deep the 200 is right now. We just watched Dembele run 19.7 or whatever it was. Like, Brian Lavelle ran 19.64 and got bronze. Letsile ran 19.65 and didn't get a medal, right? Zarnell Hughes didn't get a medal. Like, come on, y'all. Running, like, this era of the 200 is the greatest era ever. Like, like, 19.4 slapping his chest. Like, yo, it's crazy. This is the greatest era. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the greatest era. Okay, let's finish up with a few of the comments here. I'm gonna, don't see Gout Gout running below 19.60 without Fugazi win in his career. His start is too weak. I see Gout Gout. I think by 20, no, definitely, yeah. I think by 2032, I think Gout Gout will be at 19.5 at least, probably 19.4. That's my prediction by like 2032. I think he'll be around. And probably, I mean, he obviously can run faster, but like, I think he definitely can get to that point because of how much he's developing. And after listening to his coach, I really appreciate his coach's approach. Okay, he'll probably run it between 2030 and 2035. Maybe. I don't know. 19.2 is crazy. 19.2 is crazy. Noah Lyles, for all intents and purposes, Noah Lyles ran like the perfect race, right? The perfect race he could have run. And he ran 19.31. He barely got under Michael Johnson's previous world record. Like he just, got under it. I don't know, man. That's why I say Johan Blake is like, he was the only like Bolt-esque kind of athlete in terms of talent because of what he did with that 19.26, that 19.69 into a negative 0.1. Like Johan Blake was different, but everyone else, I don't know. And I actually believed that Noah could get to 19.2. There's part of me that still feels like Noah can run faster, but I don't know. We haven't seen 19.3 since 2022. That in itself, like 19.3. And even Letsile, as much as I'm praising the 200, Letsile ran 19.46. Not 4.3, not 4.1, not 3.9. Like, it's different. And it's different, man. It's different. It's different, man. And what did Noah ran 19.4 at the London Diamond League in 2023, right? When Letsile ran 19.50. So I don't know, man. Like 19.2 is ridiculous. 19.2 is ridiculous. I think the reason, just to highlight, why the majority of people are so stuck on times rather than the performances, Olympic medals, world medals, is because of Bolt's freakish records. I think people are always stuck on times. I think even before Bolt came along, people were stuck on times. Like, it's just the nature of like seeing someone run so fast. It's the nature of like breaking a world record, right? Like that's why when you see Donovan Bailey run 19.84 at the Olympics in 1996, like he has that crazy emotion because he just broke the world record that Carl Lewis had set 3 years before then. That's why when Maurice Green runs 9.7, it's like insane because all the way back in 1999, it's insane because he broke a barrier, that 19.80 barrier. Like, I think we've always been obsessed with times, right? That's why Asafa Powell was like the biggest thing in the 100. Actually, to a degree, that's why Asafa Powell, even before like the Bolt era, he got a lot of like criticism because he kept breaking these world records but couldn't show up on the at the championships because people were so enamored with like he is able to like do this like masterful thing, but that wasn't at the championship. So I don't know. I think throughout life people have been enamored with times. So I don't know. Okay. Oh, yeah. Really appreciated your long format video with Kevin Young you did. Hopefully those continue to come for you. Yeah. Like, yeah, absolutely. I'll actually say that like some of the older athletes, like veterans and stuff like that, it's probably easier for me to get in touch with them. Well, it's easier. I can get in touch with like most athletes and stuff, and just people in general. But like older athletes, because they're not competing now, they are like open to talk. You know what I'm saying? Also, a side note, I'm starting something else as well, which you'll stay tuned for that. That'll come in as well, but something side note. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see Gout Gout being consistent sub 20 runner, but not a record breaker, especially in championships. In a windy Australia race, maybe he gets close in the future. I mean, maybe. I think if Gout Gout is able to have like a career that like Ariane Knighton had prior to him getting banned, where it's like he was consistently running 19.9, 19.8, and he ran like 19.7 once or twice. He ran 19.6 once. if he has a career like that, I'm sorry, he ran 19.7 a couple times, but like if he has a career like that and then goes on to win multiple medals, like that is a very, very good career considering the era that we're in. Put 2022 Noah in Brussels, he beats Johan's 19.26. Huh. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. Sorry, I have to think about that. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question, but I just don't think so. It's man, it's such a hypothetical too. I mean, it's such a hypothetical. But maybe because Walter Dix, he ran that 19.5 because he got pulled by Johan. I don't know, man. I don't know. But maybe. I don't know if he beats Johan. Sorry, I'm like thinking about this, but I don't know if he beats Johan, but I'd say Noah probably does run 19.2, but I don't know if he beats Johan. I don't know. And yes, I'm forgetting that Brussels track is heavy. I mean, yeah, the Brussels track is good. I mean, Noah has run very fast at the Brussels track, but like, I don't know. It's just such a tough hypothetical. I don't know. It's such a tough hypothetical because it changes the dynamics of the race, right? If Johan Blake going into that race knows that Noah Lyles is in that kind of like, form of he's run 19.4 in the past, he's run 19.5, maybe that shifts his mindset where he isn't sleeping in the blocks and he goes on to, I mean, he might break the world record, right? Like, and then Noah runs, I don't know. That's a thing. I don't know. It's a crazy, I don't know, man. Johan is a beast. And literally he's the beast. And then he's also like an actual beast. I don't know, man. Yeah, like I think this changes the dynamics of the race. Like Johan thinking about Noah, because think about Noah entering 2022, right? He had already run all those fast times on the circuit for years. So it's just a different dynamic, man. I don't know. It's a different dynamic. And to the point of like, Johan, and this is why I was watching races of Johan from 2009. Johan on the circuit was a beast. Like, again, literally and figuratively. Watch races from Johan in 2009, 2010, obviously 2000. Like, Johan on the circuit was different. Like, he was so different. And when he was against competition, right? When he's racing Usain Bolt in Rome, 2009, right? When he's racing Tyson Gay in London, actually Monaco, 2010 and London 2010. And this is before Johan Blake becomes the athlete that we know. Like Johan was different. On the circuit, Johan was different. Obviously, he has world gold, he has double Olympic silver in the 100 and 200, but like Johan was the next Usain Bolt. Like, I might be thinking of Paris. Maybe it wasn't Rome. It was Paris 2009. It was Usain Bolt, Johan Blake, Donovan Bailey. Again, the times don't exist anymore, but it's like, man, Johan was different. That's all I'll say. Johan was different. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna probably close out in a few. Star Athletics dropped an hour ago. Are you gonna watch it? Did you analyze who looks in shape and doesn't? I didn't see it yet. I've been on for 2 hours, so I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, yes. I know. I interviewed Gail back in 2022 at the World Champs. I can reach out to her again too. Bernie Surin actually is good. Sally Pearson is good. When I did that Gail interview, that was like the third time I'd ever been to a track meet. But yeah, no, I'm gonna try and reach out to a few people as well. Again, I wanted to talk to Butch Reynolds. I'm gonna try and reach out to him. Okay. All right. So let us. Yeah, man, Bernie Surin for indoors. Oh, man, I'm gonna try and reach out to some people and see what's up. Russell's track isn't heavy. Johan was probably around 19.3 shape in that race. He bricked it in 2012 and still ran 19.44. Yeah, maybe. Nah, man, I don't know, man. I think in that race, this is what I'll say. I think if Noah Lyles in 2022, if we were able to take him and implant him into that Brussels 2011 race, that 200, I think Noah Lyles runs 19.2, but I think Johan Blake breaks the world record. That's what I think. Like, I think we can probably all in general agree that Johan probably would have broken the world record if he got a good start. But I don't think Noah Lyles beats Johan Blake in that race. Now, there's also, Walter Dix probably runs 19.4 in that race too. Oh yeah. Oh no. Okay, so yeah, Walter Dix ran 19.53 there after running 19.7 at Worlds. I'm sorry, but 2022 Noah is running at least 19.4 low there. I think Noah Lyles would have run 19.2, but I think Johan Blake would have run 19.1. I think Walter Dix in that race would have run 19.4. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think everything gets adjusted because Johan would have gotten a good start. That's what I think. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, I don't think Noah. I think Noah and Blake just would have been interesting. I think it would have been tough for Noah to beat Johan Blake, but I think it would have been interesting. I think Johan Blake probably would have provided the most competition for Noah if they were in the same era, right? Like, I think that would have been true competition. Yeah, I think that would have been the case. But, you know, is what it is. And obviously, I know Noah Lyles, he got bronze in 2021. He got bronze in 2024. But just thinking about the circuit, like, he's never lost. So, or he lost once, right? 2019 to Michael Norman. But, yeah, I don't know. Blake, talent-wise, was better, but execution-wise, Johan was not really good in the 200. His best 2 times were bad races. I mean, well, yes, but then that's why I'm like, well, tell me why his 19.44. Why was that a bad race? You need to call then, like, this is honestly because I don't even remember like what was bad about it in the sense of like that 2012 Olympics. Obviously, his 19.26 was not good, but in terms of his start. But like, I look at his like Monaco race in 2010 where he ran, was it 19.7 he ran? And then just also like Johan didn't run sub 20 that many times. I think the last time I checked, he ran sub 20. He ran it less than, let me just bring this up. And I'm gonna stay here like 5 more minutes because we gotta make some moves. I think, how many times did Johan? Okay, yeah, this is why Johan didn't even run sub 20. He ran it 9 times. Like, he doesn't even have that many sub 20 performances. Like, this is why, I'm gonna be honest. This is why I'm semi-critical of Johan Blake, because his full career in the 200 really doesn't match up to the talent that he displayed, right? Like, you don't run 19.2 and 19.4 without being one of the best all time. But then when you look at certain athletes, like Frankie Fredericks has run sub 20 way more times than Johan Blake did, right? And he only has the Olympic silver. That's why I'm critical of Johan when it comes to his full career. So I say that in context of like him, like execution-wise, he wasn't great. It's almost like I feel he doesn't even have enough data points, like to a degree. That's kind of what I'm thinking of to a degree of why I'm like, you know. But I hear you though in terms of 10.19 on the curve from a guy who runs 9.7 multiple times that season and 9.69 as well. It was a terrible curve. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe there's an aspect though of him not being able to handle a double, because that was the first time he did a double, right? He had to run the 100. He runs 9.75, and now he has to, you know, circle back for the 200. Like, everyone is not Usain Bolt, so there's that aspect. So doing a double, I think to a degree, like, we look at athletes like Usain Bolt or even Tyson Gay or even Noah Lyles, like certain athletes who have been able to handle a double relatively well. And certain athletes are just not made for it. Now, granted, running 9.75 and 19.4 is crazy, but to your point, like there was a lot of room there. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd also be, so just for context, Johan struggled running the curve well, according to him and Bolt. Funny because everyone glazes his third leg in 2012. This is what I'll say. Obviously, Johan, third leg, legendary leg. I haven't looked at the stats and the things, but I'm very interested on like the other legs that Johan ran. Like, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this all the time in my head. I'm not going to search it right now. But like the other like third legs that Johan has run, like did he dominate like he did in 2012? That 2012 race was just special on all kinds of levels. But I don't know if other races, it's like, oh, Johan on third leg is like the beast. It's not like, in my opinion, here's maybe a hot take. Justin Gatlin on second leg overall is better than Johan, like in his totality of running relays, right? Now, I think Johan's third leg in 2012 was like one of the most that is one of the most legendary curves, but like, is it I don't know. Like, I don't know if their consistency is there, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so I think Tyson spit faster than Johan on the same leg. Johan, Nat said that Tyson did. Tyson is split faster on third leg. Okay. But you say yes, no, Johan dominated the curve in 2011. Okay. But I guess, and like, again, I'm not going to search it for now, but I just can't remember it now. But like, who was on that 2011 team? I'm sorry, not the team. Who else was in the race in 2011 at the World Champs? Like, did he dominate it in the sense that like he looked good, or like were the splits good? I don't know. I don't know. But I believe it. I think the 2012 race was just so special, but I think that skews our perception of everything, like literally of everything. That skews our perception of everything. When like, I don't know, there's other things that we can definitely look at. But let's be clear. Johan was a legend. Like, he was one of the most talented athletes in history. And yes, sadly, once again, Johan Blake didn't run enough championship relays on that leg. So that's a good point. It's like, we just don't have enough data. But yeah. Oh, okay. I forgot. Yes, 2011. I forgot. Oh, yes. 2011 with Darvis Patton when he got hit by what's the guy, the tank guy from Great Britain. I forget his name, but the guy who's like, he's giant. Yeah, like, and then Darvis, Doc Patton, he dislocated his arm or whatever it was. Like, that was a rough one. Yeah, Harry Inkins, I can't even pronounce his name, but yes, Aridi from Great Britain. It was crazy. His arm went back and it just like bodied Doc Patton. Just bodied Patton, man. Yo, those are popcorn muscles, man. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, shout out to Harry. Okay, yes, I think yes, and I'll probably end it. Oh, well, two things I'm going to end it on. Yes. Well, actually, three things. One, I'll give it just to this comment. I think if you give Noah anything, it's that he shows up at championships and Johan never really brought his best. Yeah, I think just to highlight 2 points, Noah Lyles is a championship performer. He shows up. Again, it's crazy that someone could be criticized for running 19.5 to win gold at championships, which is wild. But then also the aspect of like, he really does give his all, right? He's run all of his personal bests are at championships, 19.31, 19.979. You know what I'm saying? Like, he runs his best at championships. Now, obviously there's the outliers with in 2019, he runs 19.8 after running, 19.5 that year. But like, Noah Lyles, he shows up. And even though Johan never ran his best at championships, I mean, granted, 2011 into a massive headwind, and like, he probably wasn't, I don't know. He had run 19.8 that year already, already. There's a world where with the wind reverse, actually, oh no, well, that's a tailwind. My bad. I was going to say, to the earlier point of like, the wind in 2011 was negative 1.5 or something crazy like that. So that's just a tailwind in Berlin. I'm sorry, in Daegu. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, overall, I think Johan is one of the greatest ever in terms of his talent. But yes, I think in the championships, it's just a little, didn't show up to a degree, despite having a world gold, an Olympic silver in 100, and then also Olympic silver in the 200. But Johan is a legend, and we can't. I think Johan, to me, so far is the only athlete who has showcased the idea of like the next Bolt talent wise. I'm still waiting for all of that. Okay. All right, cool. So we will end there. All right. Appreciate y'all. Next week, I may have to go live earlier, maybe Monday, because I'm gonna be away on Tuesday. I'm gonna be away through the week, so I may go live on Monday, but I'll let y'all know. If I don't, it may be either Sunday or Monday. We'll see. I don't want to conflict with anybody though, so TBD. I'm trying to like make sure that I can like have my pocket on Tuesdays, and I know like Ready Set Go they do on Sundays. I know that Light and Levy, shout out to like they go live on Mondays, but they didn't this time. But I don't want to conflict with anybody, but TBD. I'll let you know. So yeah. All right. Appreciate y'all, and always appreciate it. Also. Last thing, my bad. I know some people were coming at me with Elaine with what I said last time. I was joking about Elaine in terms of comparing her to Gabby, is what it is, but appreciate y'all.